Hey everybody, long time no talk. I know I haven't vlogged in a very, very, very long time, but that's only because I've been super, super busy with everything here, and I finally have a relaxed day where I can get some stuff done, and I thought, hey, why not to talk to the friends and family? So here I am, and let's get started. About 3 weeks ago now, we went on a long trip for about a week. We started in Paris and we started going all the way down to Barcelona, and we stopped at Toulouse and all these different places and got to see lots of museums, and it was super, super cool and like just really interesting. It took a whole entire week and we were stuck in a bus the whole entire time, but it was absolutely great. Starting off in Paris, I went up 2 days early to stay with a friend who lives in Paris, and she also was a sister of my first host family, and I got to stay with her for 2 days, and I literally saw everything on my bucket list that I wanted to get done in Paris, and it was such an amazing time. I had an amazing tour guide. Her name is Anna, and she's actually from the United States, but has been living in Paris for a very long time now. And she decided that, hey, she had some free time and she could show me around. And so without knowing me, without knowing my background or anything, just knew I was a student, said, yeah, I can show her around. And we had the most fun time going around. And I ended up getting to see the same piano bar that is in the new movie La La Land, where he plays at the very, very end of the movie when he's playing the piano in Paris. I got to see that bar. And then right next to that, or close to it, is Shakespeare and Company, this amazing bookstore that like literally you cannot take pictures in. They do not allow you to take pictures in it because it's very prestigious and very put together. And like the only way you can get like a stamp or a sticker or anything is you have to buy a book, and like no books in there are cheap. So like I didn't buy anything, but it was absolutely amazing. And I'm really glad I got to kind of walk through and just like touch everything because it was amazing. Later on that evening, we ate macaroons with foie gras in the middle of them. If you don't know what that is, it's actually not allowed in the United States, but what they do is they kind of like force feed a duck, and then they take their liver, I believe, and that's what it is. It sounds absolutely disgusting, don't judge me, but it's so good. And so it was a macaroon, a lemon macaroon with the foie gras in between it, and it was incroyable. I hate myself. Then the next day I got to see the Petite and the Grand Palace. Didn't go inside the Grand Palace because it was closed for renovation, but I did get to go to the Petite Palace, and we toured around, and they had an art museum, and it was super cool, and I was very happy because I love art museums. Then I went to the Louvre later on that day. I didn't do too much because my phone was about to die, and I was worried about being like stuck at a place and like not being able to look at my phone or know where I am exactly. So like I tried to like not look at my phone, and because I had an app that I could listen to like all of like the history behind each painting or each museum and things like that. And I didn't want to use it because I didn't want to lose my my battery, which is kind of sad, but it's okay. After that, we went to eat lunch at the Love Wall. If you don't know what that is, I'm not exactly sure what the actual name of it is, but it's a blue wall that has every single language on it, and it says "I love you" in every single language, and it's so pretty. And I took several pictures in front of it, and it was just a really nice place to get to sit down and like eat our lunch. So like that was real relaxing. And then one of my favorite things that we did was we saw the Moulin Rouge, which like you hear about and like you kind of see it in movies sometimes, and like it looks nothing like it in real life. It doesn't look like anything in the movies, and it was just so cool. And like when I saw it at first, I was like, that's so much bigger than I expected it to be. And then you have to walk all the way across the two roads. There's like two oncoming roads of traffic in order to get like a full picture of like the whole entire thing. And it's so cool, and I was so in love with it, and I was so happy. That just made, like, that was when I realized, like, dude, you're in Paris. Oh my gosh, my life. Anyways, after that day, we got on the bus, we did a quick tour of Paris, and then started driving already. And we got to a little place called Futurescope, which is basically a virtual like roller coaster place. Like there's no like big roller coasters or anything, but it's kind of like conserving power and doing all these different things, and you get to learn while in the process of playing games and having fun and just being silly the whole entire time. It's actually for little kids. But I mean, why not go there? Because we act like little kids anyways. Yeah. And I was super happy though, because like usually I get sick on those rides where like you don't actually move and you kind of just like turn around like this type of thing and like you don't know where you're going or anything. Um, but I didn't, and that made me super happy because I was super worried about it. Also, the very very end, we were supposed to be back at the front gate at like 5:30, and it was like 5:20, and me and two other people decided to get on a kids ride, which was not the smartest idea, because it was like an airplane, but it was also like a bicycle. So like you had to pedal the bicycle in order for your airplane to like take off into the sky. And we were all like way too big for the ride. And so me and my friend from Canada actually got up. We were pedaling so fast that like we actually got up into the air. But my friend, who was actually from Texas, also she's a lot taller than both of us, and she could not. And so she just sat at the very bottom, and she was doing this. And so like we were up in the air, like flying our airplanes and being like silly kids, and she was at the bottom like pouting, and it was super funny though. And then we were late, and they got mad at us, and they're like, "What were you doing?" We're like, "We got lost." It's okay. Kids will be kids. Then we got to Barcelona, and that was incredible. We had free time for lunch. We kind of did some scoping out of places and looking, and we ate at a really nice restaurant. And then the funniest part about it was that I told my friends, I was like, "Hey, don't worry, I have a really good memory for places. Like once I see a place once, I'm gonna remember it for the rest of my life." And they're like, "Perfect." So like we're like going around and doing things. And after we'd eaten and we had to go back to the bus, we were walking, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's this way." And we come out on the other side of the street, and I was like, "I have no clue where we are." And so then we had to stop somewhere, and like we're in Barcelona, so no one like we had to. I asked first, I was like, "Do you speak English?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Do you speak French?" And a lot of people spoke French, which was great because like now we understand and can speak French. So it's just kind of like, "Hey, help me, please, sir, that speaks a little bit of French." I accidentally skipped into Luz, which was a city right before we got to Barcelona. We went into the courthouse of the whole entire town, which is actually like super big. And the lady that we were with was like, "By the way, we're gonna make you guys cover your eyes." And so she put blindfolds on us, and we're like walking through this like really old, beautiful building, and she's like, "Touch the walls, hear the sound of your feet against the floor, do this and that." And I'm sure, like, it was open to public, so like people are looking at us, and we're like walking through, like, "Oh yes, this is marble," or like, "Oh, this is a wooden floor," and like people like think we're actually crazy, which we are, but like still. Whoa. Like, if I saw a group of people doing that, I might go mess with them, be like touching people and stuff. No, I wouldn't actually do it. But, like, still, it was a little bit funny and just strange and just in generally funny. The last day in Barcelona, we went to, I know I'm going to butcher this because it's Spanish, and I've been learning French for the past 7 months. Sagrada Familia. I'm going to say it like that. Sagrada Familia. And it's the new church that was started in like 200 years ago or so, and now it is at it says it's going to be finished by 2020, I believe, which we'll see about that. But literally from the outside, I was like, "What is this place?" It kind of looks like I hope this is not mean, but it kind of looks like a ant tunnel type-ish thing, because like nothing's actually like put together, or like, well, it is, but like it has this weird material. It looks weird on the outside, I thought, and I was kind of worried about what it was going to look like on the inside. And when we went inside, I actually started to cry because it is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It's based off of like nature, and you have like the water and the fire and the earth and the air, and like, so every window is like a different color, and when it comes together in the middle, it's just this glass windows that have this light that comes down in the middle, and you stand there and you're just, you don't have words to describe it. And I'm not even joking, the first thing I thought when I walked in, I was like, "I wish my mother was here to see this." So, calling you out, Mother, we're going to Barcelona, and we're going to go to this church because you would absolutely die in it. It's so, so beautiful. The last thing that I'm going to say about this trip is that we slept on the bus, which was crazy, 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 because it was literally awful. Like, I literally did not sleep. But it's okay. And then we got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So like you got like 2 hours of sleep, maybe if you're lucky. And then you get up at like 6. And they promised us a really nice breakfast. And we ended up just eating bread and jam. And like that was all they offered. Black coffee, bread, and a little bitty morsel of jam. Just recently, like 2 weekends ago now, I had we went to La Rochelle, which is a little town on the west coast of France, and it's about 4 hours away from where I am right now, and 600 other students were there. This is the big event that every single student here in France went to, and it was super cool. We got to see people we did know, people we didn't know. We had to trade a lot of pins, and all my jacket's like covered in pins, and I'm super excited about it. And the president of all of Rotary was there, and he's from Tennessee, so he didn't speak any French, but he had like this really strong accent. So like the people who didn't know where he was from would be like, "Oh, he's from Texas," because he spoke like this all the time, and he was telling us about how great the program of Rotary is and how you should really be involved in it. Oh, I hate myself. As you can see, also, last thing, I'm in a new house. I'm with a new family now. It's my very, very last family, and I have about 85 days to go. I'm on the 85-day countdown of my trip, and I don't like it. But I'm with my new family. They're absolutely amazing. I have this really wonderful dog who's super, super trained. We live in the middle of the forest. I don't know if you can see outside a little bit, but we live literally in the middle of the forest. So like the ambiance is amazing, and it's just super, super cool. I'm super, super happy, and I hope to see you guys again soon. I will talk to you later, and have a good time until I talk to you again. Bye. We started in Paris, went all the way down to, like, through Toulouse, through Barcelona, all the way, oops, okay, yeah, I got to see that bar, and in Croatia, yes.